And we turn now to another topic related to money, where Hong Kong, awash in cash from its booming real estate market, is boosting spending on social programs, but is saving most of its unexpectedly large budget surplus in case of a downturn. Unveiling the city's $57 billion budget, Financial Secretary John Tsang offered roughly $4 billion in one-off stimulus measures, including tax cuts, roughly the same level as last year. However, total expenditures will include an over 30% boost in social welfare spending, with a focus on the elderly. Kevin Lai, an economist at Daiwa Capital Markets, says the government needs to spend more to tackle the deep-rooted issues in Hong Kong, such as wealth disparity. Hong Kong's Gini coefficient, a measure of inequality, measures at 0.535, which is the most unequal city in the developed world. The score, at a high for Hong Kong since records started being kept in 1971, is above the 0.4 level used by analysts as a gauge of the potential for social unrest. At the bottom of this inequality are Hong Kong's 300,000 domestic servants, who make up around 4% of Hong Kong residents. Filipinos and Indonesians enter the country on 2-year contracts and work for the minimum of $505 per month. Poor and ethnic minorities often have a difficult time in Hong Kong and can be subjected to discriminatory practices, despite Hong Kong being such an international and diverse city. Campaigners argue that they should not be treated any differently from other foreigners who flock to the former British colony to seek professional work. For example, it can be difficult for non-Hong Kong citizens to even open a savings account at local banks. To help combat this, the government of Hong Kong has approved a 7% rise in the city's minimum wage to nearly $4. But this lags increases elsewhere in the region and has drawn criticism from some who say it's not enough to help workers cope with costs in one of the world's most expensive cities. The pay rise compares with the latest wage hike in Beijing in January of 11.1%, the fourth rise in 3 years. The monthly minimum wage in the Chinese capital was raised to $225 from $130 in 2010. Even bolder moves have been seen in Southeast Asia. Vietnam's prime minister signed a bill in December raising the country's minimum wage by 18%, while an up to 35% hike took effect in Thailand on January 1st. Wealthier Singapore, where a widening gap between rich and poor is also a concern, does not have a minimum wage and has no plans to enact one. Well, affordable housing is also a major issue in Hong Kong, and the recent doubling of a property sales tax underscored the government's failure to tame a property market that has surpassed its 1997 high, spurring warnings of a bubble and stoking social tensions. In his first policy address last month, Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying promised to boost the supply of housing, tackle pollution, and provide more care for the elderly. Last October, Leung singled out the re-emergence of cage homes, cramped wire mesh huts stacked on top of each other, as an issue that highlights the depth of poverty that exists alongside one of Asia's most glittering financial centers. And while Hong Kong's 7.1 million people haven't escaped the global financial crisis, record low interest rates and an influx of buyers from mainland China have fueled a doubling in property prices since early 2009. Well, that's priced average citizens out of the market and left some unable to afford basic necessities. You're watching Biz Wire on BON. Let's turn now for a quick look at a few stories that are buzzing in the market right now.